Hello from Sumba. I'm here for 3 nights. I thought I would film the highlights of being at this beautiful, magical place called Nihi. This is on the island of Sumba, which is an island nearby to Bali. It's actually a lot bigger than Bali. Wow, huge bee. And it doesn't have anywhere near as much of the tourism of Bali, so it's much quieter. The nature is unbelievable. I'll show you the beaches soon. They are just breathtaking. It looks like a painting. And I thought for the next couple of days I would just film what I'm up to here, share my experience because it's worth sharing. It's incredibly special, so I really hope you enjoy this video. I've just noticed the stone outside our villa is a hut. Isn't that sweet?
Morning.
Good morning, Simpson.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yes.
Good. We've come to the Simba Foundation, which is run by Nihi, and this is one of their rooms where they teach children English and computer skills. And there's actually a clinic over there in the background treating malaria. Oh, thank you. Makasih. No problem. And yeah, this is where every day after school the children can come to learn more about computer skills and various other lessons.
That they need to pay if they have problem with eye. We have eye nurses here. We've been work together with eye doctor from Australia like 15 years. So every year before COVID, they come to Sumba to do eye screening and also eye surgery.
Oh, hello. Hello, boys. Here we go.
I'm from England. He gets it.
Jamie's the popular one. Look at this cute. I really hope you can hear the waves that are right behind me right now. Just the sound of this like roar of the tides coming in and out is so peaceful. It provides this lovely sense of calm. It might be nice actually for all of us now to take a deep breath together and absorb the energy from the water behind me. So just take a deep inhale now and let it go. Such a simple practice to just come back to yourself. Take a little moment that takes 5 seconds to just ground and feel back into your body and feel present again. I would love to speak a bit about the Simba Foundation. So, to be honest, I didn't know what to expect with the Simba Foundation today. I knew that we were being taken off to explore some of the work that they've been doing, but that was a very special experience. And I just wanted to explain a little bit about what was going on and what I learned today from the foundation. So Nihi is the resort here in Sumba, and they're a bit different to a normal resort because they're not about being like super commercial and corporate or a chain company at all. It's very, very independent. We were, I think I mentioned, at Chris Birch's villa last night, meeting him and getting to know more about what Nihi is. And it's of course a very luxury, high-end place, but at the same time, it's very chilled. Everyone's barefoot, everyone's friendly, everyone's chatting. It's a very like laid-back, chilled vibe. It's like, don't dress up, don't wear makeup, don't even wear shoes. Just feel completely at home here. And what also sets it apart, most importantly, is that a lot of this money is invested back into the foundation. So, and the foundation, as you saw today, is all about giving back to community. And it's one thing going away to a really beautiful luxury hotel where you can relax, you know, and sit by a pool and read a book. But I think it's a whole other thing where you feel like you're welcomed into a community itself, and where you know that the money is actually being invested into good. There are 3 kind of aspects to this. So the first one are the clinics, the health clinics. Malaria is still an issue here in Sumba, and so part of the foundation has established clinics around the island to provide free support to people that have either are suffering from malaria or even just carry the parasite of malaria. I actually learned something today about malaria. I didn't realize that it's not necessarily the mosquito that is the malaria. It's just that the malaria carries the parasite that the mosquito gives you, the parasite that gives you the malaria. And so you can actually carry the parasite that you contracted via the mosquito. And then how it's then spread, it's not that it's contagious at all through like coughing or anything like that. It's not a virus necessarily like that. It's that when a mosquito then bites you, it takes the parasite that you have contracted and spreads it on to the next person. So yeah, I didn't realize that. I thought it was more, I knew it was spread through mosquitoes, but I thought it was like the mosquito was the disease or something, like a certain type of mosquito. Anyway, so that's where it can be an issue if someone has no symptoms but they're carrying the parasite. That mosquito that's then biting you can spread it to other people. So these clinics help those people by scanning your blood and seeing if you have the parasite, and then they can cleanse you from that, so you're not going to be like spreading it without knowing. And so we went and visited the clinics, saw lots of people there, lots of little babies and children that were there waiting to be seen by the nurses and doctors. And one thing that I found fascinating was that the Simba Foundation here is actually training hundreds of nurses around the whole of Indonesia. So nurses from Jakarta are being trained by the Sumba Foundation, and around Bali and various other places around Indonesia, which is incredible to think Sumba is one island and this one Sumba Foundation is having such an impact. So there's the healthcare aspect, then there's the schooling. So they are teaching kids English and computer skills and various other educational things as well. And so the kids can go to these schools again, like around the island, and the teachers actually go to the schools as well to learn after hours. And I found it interesting as well hearing that Sumba so far doesn't have much tourism at all. Like, it's very evident driving around. You don't see any other tourists. There's Nihi and I think one or two other hotels or like surf camps on the island. But other than that, tourism just isn't a main kind of focus of Sumba. But it feels like they're kind of preparing for that, because by teaching the kids English, it's like there are going to be more job opportunities with the, like, whether it's at Nihi or other places. And then, of course, there was the food. So they twice a week provide school meals for the kids, and that's where we went today. We went to visit the school, and the people who were there running the Simba Foundation, they were like, guys, get stuck in, like, we'd love you to help serve these kids their food, their lunch, because often it's not uncommon for kids to have one meal a day, and that would be when they get home from school. So that means that they have no breakfast and they get to school, they have a whole day of study, and then they wait to go home to eat. It's very rare for a kid to have 3 meals a day in Sumba, let alone, you know, maybe 2, but like, yeah, let alone 3. So twice a week they do that wasn't like a one-off thing because, you know, the hotel were like, oh, we want you to come and like do a one-off like giving kids their food. That was very much like something that is part of the Simba Foundation twice a week, and I was so grateful that I was able to go and experience this firsthand and see the work that the foundation are doing. The kids, they were amazing. They were so funny. Like, their sense of humor, they were like sarcastic, they were teasing, they were all joking with each other. They were such characters. Like, oh, I actually remember this from last time I was in Sumba now. Just like, the kids are such rays of light. They were amazing. And it was so lovely to see Jamie actually playing football with the kids. The boys loved him. Thought he was so tall because Jamie's 6'5". So we were all teasing Jamie about how tall he was. And no, it was lovely. A really, really lovely, more than lovely. I mean, how do you even put this into words, that experience? It was eye-opening, heartwarming, and yeah, I'm so grateful to the kids for welcoming us in and just having a laugh. And yeah, I just wanted to speak into a little bit about what the Simba Foundation is, because, you know, it's all very well and good me coming to a beautiful island and like having a nice time, but I think it's really important for me to actually share the depth of these places. And that reminds me, actually, I met a couple last night who were lovely, a Danish couple. He was Danish and his wife is from the Dominican Republic, and they run a boutique travel agency. And I was asking them, you know, obviously they're here in Nihi, I was asking them, like, is their business purpose-led? Like, how do they differentiate the hotels, places around the world that they want to share with their customers? And he said, absolutely, like, our number one priority is that we stay true to our ethos, and our principle is that we only share places that are purpose-driven and are actually making a difference, and they're there to make positive impact. And that just got me thinking, like, I feel like that should be a principle that we all have, you know, with our travel, like at least a curiosity of like, I want to get to know more about the culture, like what can I give back as well, but also what can I learn from new culture, new traditions and religions that you may not have grown up with yourself. And that's what travel is all about. It's about opening your mind, it's about expansion, it's about growth, but also if you can give back to the community as well, it's like, it's such a beautiful like dance there between both. Yeah, I love what he said, just like, yeah, it's our number one principle, and it's definitely made me think, how can I take that on through my travel experience too, you know, to just have these set principles. It's like, yeah, I would love to come to this place, but I'd also love to know what are you doing to give back, and what's your ethos, what are you about, what do you stand for, and do you give back to your local community? So maybe there's a little nugget of wisdom there from this lovely man last night that we can all take when we go to book our holidays and think about travel. It's like, well, what's the why? Why are we going? And what can we do? Like, or what is even the hotel doing to give back to community? So yeah, food for thought. Cheers. So good.
Oh my god.
And this is the view that we have going on right now. So today when we went for a hike, I learnt from our guide all about their old traditional ceremonies and beliefs and rituals, and I learnt so much about their connection to spirit and ancestors, and this is something that I'm personally so fascinated by, and I've actually been on quite a journey recently around me connecting more to my ancestors and to spirit. So a lot of what I believe is around how everything is energy, and I very much believe that there are spirits, angels, and ancestors looking down on us. And speaking to this guide today and asking him about the traditional Sumba beliefs around this, really, I felt something click with me. And it was around how they believe that their ancestors are very much protecting them. And so they put their gravestones at the front of the house to protect the house from any negative spirits. And that just made me think about how the afterlife is like you enter a higher consciousness where you're able to protect those who are living on Earth. And it's like in the Western world, I feel like we have lost this connection, and we've lost the respect to our ancestors, I feel, anyway, from my experience. I feel like that connection has just diminished, and I think because we're all just so busy and so stressed and there's so much pressure with life, that that belief has kind of just gone. But the way that he was talking about it, it was like, okay, so spirit and ancestors are in a much higher place, that they're able to protect us. So that's why it's so important for us to still carry that connection and communicate with them, because they're listening and they're looking down on us. I very much believe that all of us have a guardian angel looking down on us, and they are so there to protect us and so there to look out for us. We just need to make that connection and that bond and show respect. And it's the same for our ancestors. We all have ancestors, and you may not have this belief or connection whatsoever, and that is absolutely fine as well. It's just, I very much feel like we can communicate with spirit, we can communicate with our ancestors and our angels and ask for help, or even just express gratitude to them for being there, for looking over us. And I just think it's such a beautiful philosophy of life, that I've learnt here in Sumba, to pay respect to our ancestors, pay respect to spirit, and trust that they're there looking over us. It just takes that openness to receive and to even ask for help and to communicate. And, you know, for you, it might be praying, it might be even meditation. You find your own little way to communicate with spirit. A few of the ways that I've noticed, like in the very beginning of this journey, was that I was noticing number sequences and numerology everywhere to quite a scary degree, and I didn't understand it. I've now realized that that's one avenue for me to communicate to my ancestors, my spirits, because all the numbers have different meanings. For me, it's very much 1111 or just 11, 222. And then also my life path numbers that I see everywhere. 7 is my life path number. So I see 7 everywhere. And yeah, that's a means for communication. And when you start noticing it, it's kind of unbelievable the things that you'll begin to see, like even hotel numbers or number plates, things like that. And then the other way for me is through my oracle cards. I feel like I've built a really beautiful connection with my oracle cards. I can speak more into this another time, but there are so many other ways. And another thing I wanted to touch on just now is how there's such a respect here for the elements. So they communicate to the spirit of the water, the air, the earth, fire. And again, I feel like in the Western world we've lost this connection to the elements, and it's like a lack of respect, a lack of showing respect to the elements, and even the moon phases, you know, all of this comes into it. And I just think it's pure magic. When you start diving into all of this, it's like the veil has released and you start seeing the world in a very different way, a really beautiful way. And it's like, oh, there's so much more here. So here in Sumba, they call that Marabu. And that he described it as everything that is here that you cannot see. And I so resonate with that. It's like a belief in something that you cannot see, you cannot put it into words. It's just a presence of some kind, beyond the physical. So yeah, I just wanted to share that little bit that I learned today about Simba. It's a really, really special place.